A young life taken too soon. 9-year-old James Edds died following a car crash in January whilst he was on the way to his shops to buy soccer boots with his mother.
And the other one was Christmas last year. Christmas Day. He was the one that handed out all the presents.
And obviously the poppers as well, the bonbons.
Oh, we had to have those.
Yeah.
The female driver behind the wheel in the other car allegedly nearly 4 times the legal limit and granted bail. The matter is still before the courts. However, the Central Coast family is now seeking justice for James and has launched an e-petition with the state government's Legislative Assembly.
The tragedy of James, we're looking at what the court rulings would be and what the sentencing laws were for aggravated dangerous driving causing death and dangerous driving causing death. And it's 14 years for aggravated dangerous driving, and it's 10 for just dangerous driving causing death. And we felt it wasn't just, and then we started looking into it deeper and the actual sentencing that happens, and it's between 18 months and 3 years. And we thought, well, that's just not right, and it's not just for us. We're looking at trying to change the laws with this petition for everyone in the community and the state, so that no one has to go through losing a loved one and then having to see an offender go through a short sentence.
20,000 signatures are required, though, to even spark such a discussion in Parliament.
Well, if we can get the 20,000 signatures, that's making a point to the government that some changes have to happen, and that's what we really want to push for. We've got till the 11th of May to get all the signatures. No, it's anyone in New South Wales can sign the petition. They've got to be a New South Wales resident to sign. Then go to the Legislative Assembly e-petitions. I've got a Facebook a group called Justice for James they can sign on, and there's also links on different websites. I think you've got one on your page as well, which is great. So.
Since I've even shared the link, there's been different views. Obviously, there's different views that automatic behind bars, but there's also the distinction between setting that precedence of an accident and other extenuating factors. People have raised that there's been other incidences where a bus driver has hit someone. Should he deserve to be behind bars straight away? There's obviously got to be some sort of new justification for both.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's got to come down to if you're drunk or drug driving, there's no excuse. You shouldn't be on the road, and there's no way in the world you can call it an accident if something like that happens. You made the choice to get behind the wheel, and that vehicle has technically become a weapon. We feel, like the family, that the charges should be similar to manslaughter or murder. You're right. Yeah, there needs to be, like you said, it needs to be a line drawn in the sand. So if you're under the influence or affected, it should be a different charge or different penalty, because there are accidents, like we discussed earlier. Like, people do have an accident, but we believe that if you're under the influence of any substance, it's not an accident.
And that also sets the precedence that the messaging that we've been taught since even I was a kid was, if you're drinking, don't drive. What message are we sending if people are drinking and driving and lives lost, whether that's a child or an adult or, even, an animal? What are we doing with, the repercussions on that? Who are we setting the mark for the youth coming through?
That's right. Well, you look at the percentages from last year of people that were convicted. It was 61 cases, and it was less than 50% actually served time behind bars. And then those ones that served time, it was 40% of them served between 18 months and 83 years for killing someone on the road being drunk or drug affected.
So it's not necessarily there's something in there's goals and there's things that your family's seeking. But it's not about just having all the answers, but it's a big discussion that we need to have as a state, as a community, and this petition is what is going to open up that discussion to potentially, finding laws and legislation that match the community's expectation as well as the offence.
Exactly, and also looking at the bail conditions as well. That's the other thing we want to get looked at as well through this petition. So people, it's make it a lot harder for them to get bail than they currently have been.
No, there's been numbers of incidents. I know there was, a number of people on bail, and then they've gone and committed. Even in the same week, there was the incident of the nail gun shooting on the M1, and he'd been released on bail and prior. So but obviously then you've got to have a look at it as big as the system. How big is our jail network? So what is is it a matter of, if there's a drink driving thing, do they go straight into a rehab? There's so many different options,
but these are discussions that happen. That's what needs to come out of this. There needs to be a discussion of where we go and what we do, and what the state does. What the government do to amend the laws and amend the bail conditions.
Oh, definitely. It's another area, like amending laws for domestic violence. The deaths with that.
Yeah.
But the deaths that come from drink driving and, drug driving and other factors like that, it's not been addressed fully in the past.
No, it's not at all. So the sooner we get changes, the better it's going to be for all. That's what we. But everyone's been so supportive. It's been amazing. And you can just see from you mentioned earlier, the comments on social media about any time anyone's, especially your posts that you find there and Liesl's posts, it just goes through the roof. And everyone's got the same opinion. The sentencing's wrong.
Photos here that you've got. You're saying this one's just from last Christmas. What was he like as a young boy?
Oh, he was beautiful, great kid, very polite. You couldn't fault him. He's friendly with everyone. Loved his playing, obviously, and he wouldn't say a bad word about anyone, or he'd be always please, thank you. You couldn't ask for better.